Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Paul Merson was wrong with Liverpool prediction and reality for Arne Slot is still clear. It was not the best of weeks for Liverpool. Losing to Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and then Chelsea, two of those. Games with last-minute winners for the opposition. One could argue that the international break has come at the right time. If the Reds were getting results without playing that well at the start of the season, then that has caught up with them. But there are still another 31 match weeks left in 2025-26, and Arsenal is only ahead by a point. Naturally, there are those who have lost patience in the heat of the moment. But the reality of Liverpool's situation is clear. At the equivalent point of the previous campaign, both they and Arsenal were on more points than they are now. There is plenty of time for things to change after the next installment of qualifiers and friendlies offers a chance to reset. Just a week ago, Paul Merson declared that the title race would be over if Liverpool beat Crystal Palace and Arsenal lost at Newcastle. That would have opened up an 8-point gap. But the opposite happened, and it was cut to just 2, allowing for the swapping of places 7 days later. In the bigger picture, however, it is obvious how well Liverpool has done over the last few months. Arne Slot's side is now not leading the Premier League only for the first time since matchday 9 of last season, a 36-match-week streak. It was joint top, excluding goal difference. Right from match week 1 this season, when it beat Bournemouth, it moved outright into first place after beating Arsenal on matchday 3, but has now dropped to second and is still a point ahead of Tottenham. Last season, Liverpool dropped to second spot on matchday week 9. 2 games later in the All campaign, drawing 2-2 with Arsenal, it then regained first place from Manchester City by coming from behind to beat Brighton on the same weekend that Pep Guardiola's men lost at Bournemouth. From that point on, the gap was only strengthened, ultimately leading to Virgil van Dijk lifting the trophy above his head in May, months after most people accepted that the silverware was only heading in one direction. Not only has Liverpool been in first place for so long, a spell that has now ended. Yes, but with plenty of time for another reverse. But it also established itself at the summit later last year. Then the amount of time that elapsed to date in this. If there was enough time to run away with the league after falling behind on matchday 9, there certainly is enough time left to reverse a 1-point deficit with 2 extra matches to go. So far, Liverpool has not played particularly well yet for a sustained period. Its new signings are still bedding in, and still, everything is very much still to play for. The mood music at the Emirates this week has been that the momentum has swung that way. But just as easily, Liverpool could beat Manchester United when the Premier League resumes, and Arsenal could find things tricky against Fulham. It is a cliché, but in the Premier League, there are no easy games. It is true that Liverpool needs to get better. However, it is also necessary to add some perspective. Slot's men had a difficult summer for a variety of reasons, and they are very much still positioned broadly where they want to be. I went through hell at Liverpool. I'm finally enjoying my football again after leaving. Naby Keita has confessed that he's finally enjoying his football again after a challenging few seasons. The Guinean midfielder's time with Liverpool was marred by frequent injuries, restricting him to just 8 Premier League appearances in his final year at Anfield. Keita bid farewell to the Reds in the summer of 2023 when his contract expired, and he returned to Germany signing for Werder Bremen on a free transfer. However, his troubles persisted at the Bundesliga club, leading to his exclusion from the team after he refused to board the coach upon discovering he wouldn't be in the starting 11 for a match against Bayer Leverkusen in April 2024. After only 5 appearances for Bremen, Keita was loaned out to Ferencváros in January, where he's been experiencing a more successful stint under the management of ex-Liverpool striker Robbie Keane. The 30-year-old has made 21 appearances for the Hungarian side so far, contributing to them winning the Nemzeti Bajnokság title last season. Despite a narrow defeat to Karabag in the Champions League qualifiers, they went on to secure a spot in the Europa League phase. This season, Keita has already made 10 appearances for Ferencváros, providing 2 assists. And after a frustrating period plagued by injuries, the midfielder is relieved to be rebuilding his career in Hungary. "I have had a lot of injuries in the last year and couldn't give a lot to Bremen last season," he admitted. "But I'm happy I'm getting games here in Hungary and beginning to enjoy it all again." Keita arrived at Liverpool in a 52.75 transfer from RB Leipzig during the summer of 2018. However, the deal had been struck the previous year following the Reds' initial unsuccessful attempt to convince the German side to sell in 2017, before they rejected further mid-season efforts to bring his arrival forward to January. The midfielder would rack up 129 appearances across his 5-year Anfield stint, contributing 11 goals and 6 assists whilst helping Liverpool secure the Premier League, Champions League, FIFA Club World Cup, FA Cup, League Cup, and European Super Cup. Keita has now disclosed what Jurgen Klopp said to him following his delayed arrival at Liverpool. "I remember when I first joined Liverpool," Keita said. Klopp, told me, "Maybe you're here finally and you've earned it. I want you to enjoy it and won't put any pressure on you. The most important thing is for you to enjoy your time." For me, that always made me want to go out there and play my best for him. Keita's Liverpool journey eventually concluded in disappointing fashion, with the midfielder hauled off at the interval, during what proved to be his final outing following a lackluster display in a goalless stalemate. At Crystal Palace in February 2023, he was later sidelined for the remainder of the season due to injury, but he harbors no resentment towards his former club. Declaring himself a Liverpool supporter, he was thrilled to see the Reds clinch the Premier League title last season and maintains contact with several of his old teammates. "Now I'm a Liverpool fan and I follow the team," he shared with Telecom Asia. So last season was obviously very good, and it was very nice to see them win the league. The new manager has come in and instantly been able to get the best out of the team. He's been able to get his ideas across easily and early, which is a very good thing. "I still speak to a lot of my teammates, and they say that the new manager is very good," which is easy to believe given how they're performing. Liverpool transfer news as Reds prepare to break. Record again amid 4 Marc Guéhi alternatives. Liverpool. Fans might be in the rare position of being glad to see the international break arriving, with their side having gone through a nightmare week. The Reds fell to a 3rd consecutive defeat at Chelsea on Saturday, and now Arne Slot's side finds itself a point behind Arsenal in the race for this season's Premier League title, albeit there is still a long way to go, with only 7 games having been played so far. There's no doubt, though, that Liverpool needs to improve on its recent showings, and Slot and Richard Hughes might be looking at some potential January signings if things don't improve sooner rather than later. Michael Olise, Bayern Munich. Liverpool is preparing to break the Premier League transfer record again for Michael Olise, according to Fichajes. The Reds already broke it twice during the 2025 summer window with Florian Wirtz and then Alexander Isak, but it's claimed they're willing to do it all over again for the Bayern Munich star. It's suggested that Liverpool is willing to offer close to 176 million, 150 meters for Olise next summer, with the club eyeing up a long-term replacement for Mohamed Salah. Chelsea and Manchester City have also shown interest, though, while Bayern is said to be negotiating a new contract to ward off any potential bids. Sven Botman, Newcastle. Newcastle's Sven Botman is among a 4-man list. Liverpool has drawn up of potential alternatives to Marc Guéhi, according to TalkSport. Internal discussions are said to be taking place over whether another center-back is needed in January, with 4 names already said to be ranking highly for the Reds, as well as Botman, Willian Pacho, Zeno de Bast, and Ousmane Diomande are all said to have scored strongly in Liverpool's data-driven approach during the summer, although it remains to be seen whether any of those players would become genuine targets in 2026. Newcastle doesn't want to sell Botman, it's claimed, while Pacho is under contract until 2029 at Paris Saint-Germain. Sporting CP's de Bast has been linked with Manchester United, but the Portuguese club could be open to offers below Diomande's 94 matters, 80 matters release clause, with his contract set to expire in 2027. Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.